Hello, everyone. This is something you all have been requesting like crazy for a long time. It took a while, but I finally found 3 stories that take place during school lockdowns. Story 1. The lockdown in calculus class. It was a typical boring day in calculus class, but it was Friday, 7th period, which meant the week was almost over. Spring break was just around the corner, and everyone was getting restless. We didn't have a test that day, unlike some of my friends in other classes, so our teacher decided to lighten the mood by playing games with us on Sparkle. He was a laid-back guy like that. We were doing a brand logo quiz, laughing and having fun. I remember the exact moment it happened. Right after my friend answered a question, I think it was Adidas, the dean's voice came over the loudspeaker. He sounded panicked and frantic. "This is not a drill. Go into lockdown." I got chills. Goosebumps covered my arms. Even our usually calm teacher looked scared. He rushed to turn off the lights and herded us to the back corner of the room. We sat in silence for about 2 minutes. Then, the buzzing sound from a panel in the back of the room stopped. The power was cut. We all looked at each other, realizing this was serious. A few minutes later, we heard a man screaming at the top of his lungs. He was coming down the hallway. 2 girls in the class started crying, which made the rest of us even more scared. The screaming got closer. The man started banging on the lockers, yelling, "I'll kill all of you." My heart raced. I started to fear for my life. The banging moved to our classroom door. One of the crying girls screamed, "No!" The man pounded on the door, shouting, "Open up!" 2 girls were crying loudly now. It felt like an eternity. But eventually the man moved on, still screaming as he went down the hallway. We couldn't hear him anymore. About 10 minutes later, though it felt like half an hour, the dean came back on the loudspeaker. He explained that a mentally unstable man had entered the school. He had assaulted the woman at the front desk, and she ran out, screaming. The staff didn't know if he was armed. This was before the school had cameras or proper security, so the building was wide open for something like this to happen. The staff searched the hallways and classrooms, but couldn't find him. The dean told teachers to resume classes, but keep the doors locked. No one was allowed to leave. The most disturbing part? That night, the janitor found the man sleeping in a storage closet near the back of the school. Rumors spread that he had a .44 Magnum sticking out of his pocket. The janitor must have done something to wake him up, like leaving the closet door open. By the time the police arrived, the man was gone. To this day, I don't know if they ever found him, but I like to think he's getting the help he needs now. Story 2. The man outside the school. My school has 2 lunch periods. First lunch is for 6th graders and some 7th graders. Second lunch is for the rest of the 7th graders and all 8th graders. The lockdown happened in early October. It was an overcast, rainy day. During first lunch, I heard 4 loud booms. I thought it was thunder, but then the entire lunch crowd started screaming. Campus security rushed in, yelling at everyone to go into the multi-purpose room. Kids in line for lunch had to throw their food away and run inside. The multi-purpose room is huge, with a back wall made of see-through glass. Security covered the glass with curtains and blocked every exit. My friend Eric asked one of the adults what was going on. When he came back, he said, "You know those houses in front of the school? There's a mentally unstable man who barricaded himself in his house. He's threatening to kill himself and the cops if they try to evict him. He's been walking around outside, watching kids in a creepy way." Eric also told us the man was a registered sex offender, which made everything worse. We were stuck in the multi-purpose room for an hour. It took up 2 whole class periods. After everything settled, we were escorted to our classrooms one by one. Later, I found out the man lived next to my friend, Brandy. She told me that on Halloween she saw him at his window, cutting his arm and writing in his own blood, "Don't come here, or I'll kill you." At the time, we thought it was just a Halloween prank. But after that day, we knew he was dangerous. I'm just glad he never got close to us. Story 3. The Basement. Lockdown. I'm 22, fresh out of college, and I recently got a job at my old high school as a computer intern. My office is in the basement. It's messy and disorganized, but there's a small 3-person office that's actually really nice. It has 3 big desks, 2 mini fridges, a flat-screen TV, and air conditioning, something the students and teachers upstairs don't have. I got the job because 3 of my old computer teachers really liked me. They helped me land the position, and I consider them friends, not just teachers. Everything was going great until a few weeks ago. My co-workers, Dave and Gary, weren't in the office that day. They were upstairs working on paperwork. I was eating my sandwich during lunch when I got a call from the front office. The school was on lockdown. Someone possibly armed had entered the building. I turned off the lights and hid under my desk. The office doesn't have a door, just a big opening, and the basement door doesn't even lock. I felt so exposed. I texted Dave and Gary, but they didn't respond. I sat in the dark, playing games on my phone for about 20 minutes, waiting for the lockdown to end. I had no idea what was happening upstairs. Then the basement door creaked open. Footsteps echoed down the stairs and into the office. Someone was in the room with me, but they didn't turn on the lights. I held my breath, terrified. If I made any noise, I thought I'd be dead. Suddenly, my phone dinged. It was a text from Dave. "Dude, this is crazy. Some guy shot Mr. Buckley. He's wearing a red shirt and a hat. Whatever you do, don't come upstairs." My stomach dropped. I looked up and realized the man in the office matched the description. He asked me if there was an exit. I pointed him in the wrong direction and bolted upstairs. A gunshot rang out behind me. The bullet ricocheted off something metal, but I made it out alive. Police were waiting at all the exits, including the basement door. They caught the man as soon as he opened it. Mr. Buckley survived the shooting, but no one knows why the man targeted him. The sound of that gunshot still echoes in my mind. It's something I'll never forget.